Hi, ever wonder what it's like to work another profession or live in the underworld? Listen to unsuspecting riders give a 10 to 15 minute personal masterclass as I spontaneously interview them as they enter my taxi. I'm your host, Simon Rushton, and this is Taxi Chronicles. Good. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have an interesting person here, lovely lady, very talkative, like myself.
What does that mean?
And see, look, straight away she started. And we've been having an interesting conversation about where Boris lives. So, you know, if you listen to this whole episode, you might find out. You can go and throw eggs at his door. And she does a podcast herself, so we're going to hear all about it. So nice to have you here today.
Grab the phone. Take this? Okay.
Yes, that's the mic.
Hello, listeners. All three of you, I'm sure.
Jealousy will get you nowhere. Okay, jealousy MP. So, tell us, what made you want to start a podcast, and what's your podcast about?
I'm actually a product of radio. My parents met in broadcasting school. My father continues to be a DJ in the sort of traditional sense. And so I've grown up around radio. I did some radio adverts as a child with my father. And then of course the podcast boom about 10 years ago. And I thought, this voice cannot fall upon deaf ears. I must spread the word of weird accents. The subject is all around sort of con men and deception and hoaxes and scams and so it's in the true crime vein, but it's not violent. There's no murders or anything going on. It's just people being shady and doing cheeky shit.
I've got murders on my podcast.
Have you? Well, little collab in our future. But my podcast is called Fakes and Frauds.
Okay.
Fakesandfraudspod.com. Go and check it out. It's pretty rough and ready. It's pretty new. I just had also my co-host bail on me, so I'm flying solo these days. But you want to hear stories about people faking their own death and pretending to be who they're not. Come on down.
Okay, that's interesting. How long have you been doing it for?
Only a couple months. We just released episode 8 yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I admire what you're
doing.
doing.
How many do you got?
310.
Episodes?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Oh, yes.
Can't play this on the BBC.
Okay.
How long when did you start then?
I've been doing it for 9 months. And that's...
Oh my god.
And that's that podcast.
That's not a hobby, that's an addiction.
This is a different podcast I'm doing. Another one as well.
Oh my days.
About investing in Africa. But that's not many. I haven't done many on that. I've got loads of interviews in the bank, but I haven't published them. But,
I mean, it's weird that you didn't ask me to go on that one.
No, because it's invested in Africa.
But the listeners don't know they know I'm white. I sound very white.
No, it's not that. Have you invested in Africa?
Financially,
yes,
no.
In Africa.
No.
Oh, you see the road you went down? Going over there?
I thought you meant like emotionally.
No.
I think we all should be.
Everybody's invested in Africa because if you buy a phone or a laptop or anything technical, the essence that makes it work comes from Africa, comes from the DRC.
Hey, you know what? Here's a story for you. Almost moved to the DRC.
Oh, is it? So tell us that story. What happened there?
I mean, you are getting bang for your buck here.
Okay.
When I was 18, so I grew up in Canada.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I took a nannying job with a Belgian family.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. You can't see my facial expression, but we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And I was 18. I grew up in Canada. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yep.
And I just met this lovely Belgian family on the internet, and they were like, "Oh, come live with us in Belgium." I was like, "Yeah, okay, go on then." And then they were like, "Oh, by the way, we've also got this other house in the Democratic Republic of Congo. You want to pop down too?" And I was like, "That sounds dodgy." And I had to speak to the Canadian government. They were like, "Don't do that." And I was like, well, I'm kind of gonna do that because I was 18 and an idiot. Obviously, the DRC can be a really amazing place, but when you're going with a Belgian family and you're 18 and you have no idea what's going on seems a little bit like I was putting everything in their hands, basically.
Yeah.
Because the government told me, like, we will not help you. Basically, it's on the red list.
Yeah, we don't go there.
Yeah, that's not really where we hang out.
It's like the pizza delivery guy.
Yeah.
We don't deliver that part of town.
No. We'll meet you over there, but we won't go in there. But yeah, and so I went to Belgium, and I realized that, if I did go to the DRC, I would be only doing that if I completely trust these people.
Yeah.
And I realized that they were
Organised crime family?
No, not organised crime.
Bankers,
They were
the same kind of thing.
yeah, exactly.
Bankers, lawyers, corporate.
No, they worked. Oh, this is so embarrassing. I was 18. They worked in palm oil.
Palm oil. Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, not only were they probably.
So they had plantations, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, yeah. But
So
anyway, basically.
they were from the old days.
They were from the old days. Yeah.
So they're those kind of people. Okay.
Within 3 days of getting to Belgium, I sort of realized that they were not really people that I would trust. And they accused me of stealing a bag of cotton wool from them.
Really? Oh, they're like that. So they're real kind of.
It's like textbook story of like young white girl goes to like the country of Europe, and like, yeah, just gets this random family, and then they accuse her of stealing and want to treat her badly. So I headed out and I moved to London, and here I am.
Okay.
But anyway. It's a great example of how a white woman has just made the mention of an African country about her. That is what we do best. Thank you.
Have you ever been to Africa?
No.
I used to live in Africa.
Where'd you live?
I lived in Kenya.
How was it?
It was very nice, very interesting, beautiful country.
Yeah, I've heard.
The people were interesting, to put it nicely. You've got some good people, you've got bad people, just like anywhere, to be honest. Yeah, it was an experience. It was a very good experience.
How long did you grow up there? Or?
No, I'm born here, born and bred here. I went there after the military. I left the military and I did some mercenary work, and then I went to work in Africa afterwards.
Nice.
See, so, as you do after, you know.
Yeah.
Blood diamond and all of that.
Yep.
Why not? Why not get out there, see what you can get? No, but I started some businesses. It opened my eyes because my parents are Jamaican.
Yeah.
So I went there, and I didn't realise that I had a very Western mindset.
Yeah.
You don't realise that until you start to immerse yourself in life.
Yeah, I know.
You have to kind of pinch yourself and check yourself, and because of all the media here really influence you.
Yeah, definitely.
Stuff like that. But it's interesting. So I take it you've travelled a bit. Where have you travelled?
I've travelled a bit. I lived in
done
Sweden
South
for a
America.
couple of years. Never went to South America. Never been to Asia. Never been to Africa. Never been to Central America. I've only been around North America and old Europe.
You're missing out the finer parts of the
I know,
of the world.
but keep in mind, I grew up in the middle of fucking nowhere in Canada, so I've made it far, you know,
I'm
from there.
I'm not having a dig, love. I'm just saying you're missing out because all the
No, I
real
know.
history.
I
The
know.
real history is in all those 3 continents you've mentioned.
I
The
know.
southern part of America, with the Aztecs and Mayans.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got Africa from the pyramids to the Mozambique, all these old. You've got so much, and then
Yeah.
Asia speaks for itself.
Yeah, I just go to like boring white countries.
I don't know.
It's kind of my thing. I mean, Sweden is like the epitome of like dull white.
Did you know? I was watching a documentary, and they were talking about the Vikings, and they were saying how people, regardless of Hollywood, they said the actual reason the Vikings came to England was because they were short on women. And they were searching for women. You know, do you watch Game of Thrones?
No, I've never seen it. Though there's a guy, you might have to cut this bit out, but there's a guy who lives in my building that you just picked me up from. Actually, they don't know where that is. He was in Game of Thrones. He was known as like the baby milk kid or something weird where he like was breastfeeding till a really late age. Does this ring any bells to you?
Oh,
he knows.
Yes. I know him. Throw him through the sky garden.
I don't know what any of that means,
Yes,
but
it
I've just been
does.
told. So he's like really pale, has dark hair,
Dark hair, yeah.
He's on Sex Education now.
He's on Sex Education?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You know the program called Sex Education?
I didn't know that.
Okay, there's a program called Sex Education.
Yeah. So, but he can come back in a new, if there's going to be a new season. I hope there is. They should redo the last 3 seasons. But you need to watch Game of Thrones.
I don't like fantasy.
No, it's not about fantasy.
What do you mean?
No. It's politics at its peak.
No, I don't do fantasy and I don't do period dramas. That's the rules.
You're missing out.
Sorry.
Missing out.
Anyway, he lives in my building. He's very nice. I did get drunk and hit on him once and then found out he was 19. I was like, oh my, still lives with his parents.
Okay, well.
But to be fair, this was lockdown.
Desperation kicked in.
And, you know, I only looked at the face of a few people a month, so, yeah.
It shows what happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he's on telly, so.
Oh, okay. So that's like, oh, well, he's on TV, so fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, because I was seeing a lady and she's telling me how one day this was years ago, and she's telling me she's walking, her son went to this public school. And
what does that mean again? Is that posh or not posh?
Yeah, it's posh.
Okay.
Public is the equivalent to private, but they call it public here.
I don't understand.
Anybody can go a state school. You have to be a citizen, or you have to. Do you see what I mean? You just pay your money. So it's posh. But anyway, she's walking through this corridor and she's trying to rush, and then this man opened the door, and the man was from Game of Thrones, and he was the guy who's the bodyguard basically to the Dragon Queen.
What the fuck? You just said it's not fantasy, and then you're like, he's the bodyguard to the Dragon Queen. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure that falls into fantasy.
Well, can you prove dragons weren't here? Dinosaurs were here. They could.
Well,
they could have had a
okay. If
dragon
they were
dinosaur.
here, I think it would still count as a period drama, which I don't appreciate.
Okay.
I want now, and I want real.
Okay.
Okay.
So tell us, going back to your podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you gonna go with it?
Just gonna be like probably the most famous podcaster ever.
Are you gonna be like the Joe Rogan, the lady
Ew.
Joe Rogan?
God.
He's the biggest podcaster.
You know that I don't know if you had it here. Did you have Fear Factor here? There was this reality show that he used to host in like the early noughties in America, where like a bunch of random people just had to go on the show and like fucking hang out with snakes and eat cockroaches and shit, and then they win a bunch of money, and he was the host of that. So I will always just see him as that. He's nothing more to me.
He's worth 110 million.
Is he single?
Hey! I like this girl!
I suddenly really like him.
Change.
How does that work?
Well, he's famous anyway.
Well, the thing is, his podcasts are like 3 hours long, aren't they? They're
Doesn't
fucking.
matter. I've watched one of his episodes. I listen to it. I don't watch it. I just listen to it. I only look up if he's talking about some video clip or something, and it was 4.5 hour episode. I was like,
that's insane. You could watch like an art house film for that and become really pretentious and.
But I was just doing what I was doing, and it just flowed, and it was interesting all the way.
You know how many episodes of Fakes and Frauds you could listen in that time? All of them. Well,
did you say 8?
Yeah. Okay, not to be fair, they're like an hour each, so probably not.
No, see, my podcasts are short. They're usually the length of a taxi journey. So they're 5 to 15 minutes on average, but we do get people who go longer. This one has gone longer.
Oh,
because
sorry.
Don't
just quality quality content, you know.
We've been talking about Game of Thrones and hitting on underage people.
Yeah. Well, 19's legal.
Yeah, it's true. Okay.
I'm not even 30 yet. That's late, right?
Okay. No judging here. No judging. Okay, so we're on another note. I have to ask you these last 2 questions before I drop you off.
Yeah. If
you could do it all again.
Do what?
Your life.
It's not over yet.
Yes.
It is? Are you going to kill me?
That's the secret here.
Oh God. What a twist.
If you could do it all again, would you do it exactly how you've done it?
More or less, yeah.
Okay. Even the Game of Thrones guy?
Okay, the thing about intimate relationships is you have to have 2 willing participants. Okay. And I'm not saying like he snubbed me, but he never texts me back. So.
Wait, he's rich.
Well, he still lives with his parents.
Doesn't matter. Well, if you had a rich son, would you let him go?
No, probably not.
Thank you, especially if you're a mum.
Yeah.
As a mum, you're like, no, that's my baby.
No, his parents are really cool as well. Once they lent me a drill.
Okay.
We got a right little community going on down there.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. The last question is, what's the impact you want to have on the world? You seem like a conscious lady.
As little as possible.
Okay.
I would like things to just continue on as if I had never. No, I don't know. I'm definitely not one of those people that wants to kind of like change the world.
Okay.
Let someone else do that. I'll support them.
Okay.
And
that's very, very truthful there. Yes.
Yeah, just getting people to get some lols in their life is quite nice.
Okay.
And telling them about some crazy stories of scammers.
Okay, so just on that note, we're finishing up. Where can people find you?
On the internet. On fakesandfrauds.com. Everywhere you get your podcasts, Fakes and Frauds. Fakes and Frauds.
You want to spell it
Pod.
for people who can't?
Instagram. Fakes, Fakes, and AND, Frauds, FRAUDS.
Okay.
.com. Come on down.
Thanks a lot for that. It was a great interview.
Thank you.
Interesting to grab that. Okay, and you're here. We hope you liked that interview. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to get the latest daily episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economy and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources? Then listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you will hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m.